What's Gucci, everybody? My name's Quest Good, or Quest for short, and welcome back to the second episode of my merching series, 10 mil to Maxcape. So within this series, I won't be putting out a guide in every video, but I will be showing examples and things I've been doing to progress throughout the series, of course. Now, at the end of episode 1, I made about 1.4 mil profit, I think. Now, that was about 14% of what I started with. Now, in this episode, I just wanted to switch it up just a little bit. I'm not going to show too many flips on camera and commentate on them, as I've already done most of them off camera for this episode. However, I do want to introduce a new concept that I've been working with throughout this second episode and all of the flips I've been doing throughout as well. Firstly, we're just going to search up my favorite item to flip with low cash. That's the Dragon Claw. So let's get the margins on this right quick. Okay, so the margins on this Dragon Claw are 1051, well, 1052 to 1100. So that's only about a 49k, 48k margin. So I know we can get much better margins on these Dragon Claws because I'm used to them and I flip them all the time. What I'm going to introduce you to in this episode is expanding margins. So the way we're going to do that is we're just going to what you need to do in order for this to work properly is you need to have an item that you flip regularly, and you need to get accustomed to what kind of margins you can expect. For Dragon Claws, usually Dragon Claws, more so the offhand Dragon Claw, you can usually get better margins on the offhand, I've noticed. But for this one, you can usually get at least around 100k margins. So if we were to expand this a little, I'm going to take it up to, let's say, okay, if we put an offer at 1 mil, and we'll wait on this for a little while. Let's see how that works for us. Let's put in, let's only do 5 for this, so I can try the offhand as well. We're going to try stretching the margin by quite a bit, actually. That's 52k that we're stretching this margin. So if we are successful, then that will be a lot more profit. However, the downside of this stretching margins technique is that it does take longer, generally, to buy and sell your item, depending on how much you've stretched the price. Okay, now offhand Dragon Claw is a margin from 935k to 1 mil, so just about 66k profit. That's already a little better than the Dragon Claw, as you can see, but there is apparently a higher demand for the offhand Dragon Claws, or they're just not as commonly flipped, which could very well be the case. So let's try doing the same thing with the offhand Dragon Claw. We're just going to bring it down to 900k and see where that takes us from there. Now, this does take longer, like I said, and you may not even end up buying the item after a certain amount of time, depending on how much you've stretched the margin. If that's the case, then just go back, raise your margin a bit by bit. It really depends on how long you want to wait and how stable the item is, because if it's changing constantly, then you are probably going to have a better time getting a better margin. However, you may just flat out miss the margin entirely if it just changes on you after you put a price in. So if this is the case, and this is much better for AFKing if you want to do something else, like if you want to do some skilling while you're merching, I suggest you stretch the margin a little bit. Oh, look at that, the offhand Dragon Claw is already purchasing while I'm talking, so something tells me the offhand claws are going to fill before the Dragon Claws do. If the Dragon Claws fill at all. So this is great for margin stretching. Is great for skilling, doing things off the computer. You don't even have to be playing RuneScape while you're doing this. This is much better on items that are less commonly traded too. So Dragon Claws, things that aren't on the top 100 most traded list, should give you good results. Okay, so quick check up here. Probably took about 25 minutes max, and these both sold. As I suspected, the offhand Dragon Claws sold quicker, or bought quicker, than the main hand Dragon Claws. These took maybe about 10 minutes more to buy completely. Then again, there was only 5, so we almost had twice the amount of offhand Dragon Claws. Now, what that means is that I very well could have put in an offer for more. I very well could have lowered the price on my offer, so say even 850k, because offhand Dragon Claws typically do give me better margins. So let's just put these back in, and just even more of a test of fate. These are actually pretty low already. They might be bouncing back up, so these might be good to look into holding on to, even at maybe a little investment. But just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to put it back in a few GP under medium price. That just ensures me that if anybody has an offer in at mid-price, like they're selling them at mid-price, then mine will be just slightly cheaper than theirs, and mine should, in theory, fill up before theirs does, depending on when they put their offer in, of course. So let's sell back the Dragon Claws. I'm not going to stretch the margin of these too much. I may very well just put them in at 1 mil. I think I bought these at 1 mil. So yeah. Okay, so let's put them at 120k. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Another quick checkup. We can see probably took about 3 to 5 minutes, and these Dragon Claws have all sold already. Just because this is closer to the initial price, which was 1.1 mil. So I'm just gonna accept this offer and put in an offer for another 3 Dragon Claws to fill up my 10 limit for the hour. So this time, yeah, I think I'll just put it in at 1 mil again because they sold slow enough. Yeah, and I'll just stretch the margin, the sell margin after that a little more, just so we can make a little more cash on them, because they sold too quick. If they sell really quickly like that, that means you can usually make a little more money on that offer. Or conversely, if they sell too quickly, that means the margins change. So look at these Dragon Claws, they're already buying. Jeez. And the offhand Dragon Claw is going to take a little longer to sell, just because I bumped up the margin so high in these. So I'll check back with you then. Collectively, that was from about half a week of merchanting. I love the AFK-ness of being able to stretch your margins. It takes a lot longer than flipping does, but of course it leads to a much greater reward. So that's what I'm going to continue with, and maybe I'll even try something new in the next episode. Depends on how much money I have. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time.